Right, good afternoon, everyone. It looks like you just finished your lunch. Good afternoon, everyone. Great. So first of all, I'd like to applaud you because you are here on time despite that this is just right after lunchtime. Give everyone a big hand for your commitment in learning. Because I think this is what it takes to be successful in life, right? To be really committed to learn. Right, do you agree? Yes, great. So give yourself a pat on the back for being on time. Okay, great. So how many of you would like to make your first million in the next 2 to 5 years? Give me your hand. So those who did not raise up, do you want it sooner? Okay. All right. How about this? How many of you would like to make your first million in the next 2 to 5 years and also be able to keep it and grow it? Okay? Not just make and lose it all, right? How many of you would like to make your millions and be able to keep and grow it consistently? Great, then you are in the right place because what I'm going to share with you, it is not just about how to make money. Okay? A lot of gurus can teach you how to make money in a few trades. The question is that enough, right? Is that enough to keep it going? A lot of people, they make some money, for example, in Forex, and they lose it all, right? So I'm going to teach you both sides. It's not just to make money, but what it takes to be consistently making money and how to manage your money and manage your risk so that your account is not zigzag, okay? But your account is gradually growing up, right? Is that good? Okay, so what I'm going to share with you is a complete solution. It's not just teaching you about a strategy. Okay? So this topic for today is about how to buy stocks with just 5 to 10% of the stock price. Okay? How many of you would like to do that? Just 5 to 10% of the stock price, right? Instead of 100%. And because you pay just 5 to 10%, you are able to get actually 10 to 20 times faster return. Okay? Because your capital is low. And I'm going to show you the power of this instrument shortly. Okay? All right. So before I proceed further, I think the best for you to get the best out of this presentation is if I know some of your background so that I can tailor the pace to you, right? Is that good? So how many of you, let me understand a little bit about you, okay? So that I don't throw out jargons that you may not understand, right? So how many of you have traded stocks in the KLSE market? Let me see your hands. Wow, great. Give everyone a big hand. A lot of investors already and traders. What about US market? Stocks in the US market? Anyone? Okay, great. So I'm going to inspire you to trade that. What about contract for difference? Anyone have heard about contract for difference? CFD? Oh, one. Okay. So for the rest of you, you're in the right place because this is what I'm going to introduce to you today. Contract for difference. Okay, we're pretty new instruments that just existed for the last few years. Okay. What about options? Any options trader here? Options? Okay. Yeah, I will be talking about options tomorrow. I'm also very passionate in options trading, right? I trade both CFD and options as well. Futures. Any futures trader here? KLCI futures? Or commodities futures? Any commodity futures? Oh, great. How many of you have traded more than 10 years? Let me see all the seasoned trader. 5 years? Wow. 3 years? 1 year? Just started? Any? Just started? Oh, good. What about the rest of you? How many of you have not started anything? Have not started anything? Let me see your hand so that I can inspire you. Have not started anything? Okay, so for the rest of you, you will not raise up your hand no matter what, right? All right. So it's good to know your background so I can tailor the pace for you. Okay, I personally started with trading the KLSE stocks first, way back in 1993. That was like just 1 year after I started my first job. Okay, I was in AMD Penang at that time. So I started trading by just reference from friend, right? I have a lot of colleagues who, likes to trade KLSE market, and I have someone who knows the broker so well. So I find out in a short time that is not the right way to trade. Okay, so when I started to work in my second job in Intel, in 1997, I was given stock options, okay, Intel stock options, and I have to learn how to buy and sell the options as well. So that's when I started to trade, and I have to apply for a US broker. So I'm so glad that I have that opportunity because that got me started. So since then, I started buying a number of US stocks, and I focus on technology stock because that is where I come from, right? I work in a technology company. And that has been quite a journey. And after that, I started trading the index, right, ETF, options, CFD, as well as commodity futures. I don't trade all futures contract. I trade selected commodity futures because I do believe in specialization, right? You need to understand the seasonality of the commodities before you trade the specific commodity. So this is what I trade. My primary expertise is in CFD and options, right? And focusing on US stocks, okay? So on top of that, I do trade global indices as well. The reason is I find that, US market do move the rest of the market, right? So I realized that I can actually capitalize on the opportunity when the US move, right? Sometimes there's a correlation with the rest. So I do trade these few indices here, which is S&P 500, US indices, ASX 100, which is Australia indices, FTSE 100, London index, and Hang Seng index. For example, during the Japan crisis, I'm able to capitalize to buy the Aussie index and ride back on the rally. It recovered back within just 1 week, okay, because it was a sentiment down. Okay, so a lot of people actually ask me, why do I trade the US market? Okay, isn't US in a recession right now? How many of you think of it that way? Isn't US in a recession? Why should I trade the US market? Anyone think that way? Oh, good. So you already realize it. So let me ask you a question which I realized in a short time, and that makes me focus on US market. Okay? So which country has the most successful global companies? Can you shout out your answer so they can get out of your after lunch syndrome? Which country has the most successful global companies? US, right? Can you name me a few of the very successful companies that you know of? Yes, Microsoft, Apple, what else? Pardon? Intel, okay? Yes, what else? You know Starbucks, McDonald's, right? You probably eat there as well, right? Yeah, so despite the recession, are all these companies like Coca-Cola, McDonald's, Starbucks making their money from around the world, like including emerging markets like China and India? Do you agree? Yeah, so these are the companies that are so profitable and they are in a franchise business. That means as long as more and more branches are being set up in China and all the emerging markets, they will make the money, okay? So this is why I trade the US market. On top of that, which country has the most online information for research for the stock market? Online, free, available. It's US, right? And which country has the highest volume trading? US. So which market should you trade? Yes, okay? So that's obvious, right? And the other very important reason is I trade for a living, right? I quit my job and trade for a living already. Before that, I was actually managing an automation team for Intel APAC region. Throughout the APAC, I managed about 102 people. So it is a big decision for me to leave my job. So I know before that I need to make a consistent income before I leave, right? So, and I need a market that I can trade in many directions, not just when the market go up, I can make money, right? I need to have a market where I can trade it when it's down and when it's sideways, right? Can you trade for a living if you just depend on the market going up? Can you trade every month, right? You can't. So I realized that, can you do that in Malaysia? Trade it down or trade it sideways? No. So I realized I can't trade in Malaysia. Otherwise I would have traded in Malaysia, right? So I decided to find a market that has the best opportunity for me, up, down, and sideways, right? In CFD and options, you can do that. So that's the reason, and I truly would like to inspire you to do that as well. It's one of the best markets to trade, right? You don't actually have to sleep late night, okay? You don't have to stay until 4 a.m. until the market close to trade the US market. You can if you want to, okay? If you really like to day trade, okay, all the way until market close. Right? Even in KLSE, do you have to sit down from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.? No, you don't have to. You can choose to trade the first half an hour of the market open. Or you can choose to day trade, which is about 1 hour to 1.5 hours. It's up to you, during market open. US market open only at 9:30 p.m. Our time. So you can get ready 15 minutes before, and then you enter your transactions, and just stay on for 15 minutes to half an hour. You can choose to trade that way, okay? Yeah. So, is it okay for me to give you some background as to what really made me want to trade? I mean, I must trade, right? Is it okay for me to just share a little bit about that? Yeah. So what inspired me to trade is, like what I mentioned, I actually work in Intel, and I was granted a lot of stock options. And I got And it was very, very lucrative that my stock options split 3 times in 5 years. Is that good? When a stock splits means your money double every 2 years. Okay, I mean, every time it's split and it go back to the same level, right, your stock double and your value double, okay? So it was until the dot-com crashed and the reality kicks in. I thought that I could be a millionaire just from my stock options. That's how good it was, okay? So this is where I see my company stocks grow from, it went down from 65 to 35, almost half. And guess what? I asked a few of my managers at that time, what should I do now? Do you think I should keep, right, or sell? Guess what is the answer? Keep. And one of them said, I think it's a good buy. Okay? It's a good buy. Guess what I did? I bought some more. Okay, so I bought some more at 35, and let's see what it goes, happens here, right? It went all the way down to 20 first, rested there for a while, and it went as low as $13. That was how bad it was, right? All-time low. And what's the stock price today? It's only in the 20 range. It has not even gone back to the time of the dot-com crash, right? Even this level, halfway, not even where it was the top. Isn't that a big lesson? Yeah. So I sat back and really reflect, right? It's important when you have a lesson like that, not just say, oh, I'm not going to trade stocks anymore, right? You should not be deterred by that, right? Every lesson, there's something to learn from it. So I stepped back and said, I have been busy working. I was working very hard at the time for a project, but I was not managing my asset. And this is the biggest part of my compensation, not my pay. Okay? Yeah. So I realized that I had to learn about trading. In fact, I must learn about trading so that I can protect my asset and grow my asset. And I also reflect, I study the top richest people in the world. Guess where they make their money from? The richest people in the world. Other than Warren Buffett, who actually makes his money through investment, the rest are CEO of top companies, right? From Google and Oracle and so on. So where is their source of wealth? It's not from their salary, even though their salary is millions of dollars. It's actually from the stock option grants by the company. And because the stock grow, their income grow, and they become billionaires. So it's proven that you can make a lot of money from investment. But at the same time, you must learn how to protect it and how to grow it. So that's why I'm very, very passionate about protection, not just growing your money, okay? So Intel only about 22 today, okay? All right, then my second lesson came in. I saw one of my best friend and also my colleague, and she was pregnant. And she fainted next to my cubicle at work because of stress. Even though I liked what I was doing, but it was a stressful job, right? I have many conference calls in the morning because it's a global company. And I even have emails at night and weekend, right? So how many of you have been in that environment before? Long hours and a lot of emails, right? Yeah, so I realized that I asked myself, do I want to work in this kind of environment until I'm 55? Okay, these long hours. Even though I like certain aspect of my job, but I didn't like the long hours. And I asked myself, is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? So the answer is no. And when I look at her, I said, is it worth it if there's anything happen to her child? Is it worth it? No, definitely not. So at that point in time, I know I must find a solution for my time freedom. I may not quit right away, but I have to find a solution. So when I decide, that was so critical. I tell myself within 3 years, okay, I must have a way that I don't have to depend on my salary anymore. So I search for the solutions and I find that trading is the best, okay? Because trading can meet both financial and time freedom, right? It's not just financial freedom. I have my financial freedom there, right? I have a good, decent pay. It's 20 over 1,000 a month, okay? Plus all the stock options. It's very lucrative, but I don't have time freedom, okay? So I know I must take action. So I actually take very serious action. Even though a lot of people say there's no time in Intel, I took all my annual leave and I studied from the world guru. These are some of my gurus. There are many more that I could not list here, but I respect every one of them. Okay? So the first guru that I have is David Novak. He's the largest volume option trader in Australia in the 1990s. And I'm so glad that I started with him because he at least teach me about money management. Right? He says he has made a lot of money, lose it all back, make a lot of money, lose it all back, and make a lot of money, and lose it back. Only the third round he disciplined himself. And he warned me about that. So I'm so glad that I have a guru like that. Okay? He don't teach in Malaysia anymore. Okay. Connie Smith, he trade billion-dollar accounts. So I sought after the guru that have traded big accounts before, and those who really teach people the right way, okay, on psychology as well. He trade billion-dollar account, and this is a futures trader with 33 years futures experience. He only trade futures, okay, and he managed a fund for 10 years already, okay. This is Jim Rogers. How many of you know him? Yeah, he's the commodity king, okay. I also learned from Greg Sacker, who is the top Forex guru in UK. So, and on top of that, I think one of my best lessons learned is from the stock market roller coaster, right? Nothing beats hands-on experience. Despite all this, there are other gurus that I learned from in Singapore as well. Okay, so it's too long a list for me to mention that. But one of my best guru of all time that really helped me to be consistent in my trading is, to everyone's surprise probably, it is not an investor or trading guru. Okay, it is actually a psychology guru. So he is actually Anthony Robbins. He's the world leading, some people call him motivational guru, but I would say that that's undermining him. He's actually one of the master psychologists in the world, okay, who know how to bring out the best in people. Because from all the trading experience that I have, I realize psychology is the most important. If you miss out this most important part, it's difficult to be consistent as a trader long term. Because we are bound by greed, fear, and hope, right? Do you agree, those who have traded? Yeah, so I realized I must master psychology. I must master myself and my mind if I want to trade well. So I actually spent a lot of money to went to many of his seminars, all the way to Leadership Academy, where I can even learn how to teach what he does. Yeah. So this has helped me the most. Of course, it's also very costly, like all this seminar. All of you are very fortunate today. Okay? I spent probably close to 200,000 Malaysian ringgit, including the training course and the travel. But I realized this is an investment for myself. A lot of people see it as a spending, you know. When I share with a lot of people, they say, why do you spend so much money on this? I say, it's not a spending. How much do you think you are worth? Okay? How much do you think you are worth? Okay? Don't talk about right now. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how much are you going to be worth? Okay? Is the 200,000 worth it for you to make your millions dollars or even billion later? Right? So it's worth it. But you're even more fortunate. Nowadays, there's so many courses available locally, right? It wasn't at the time when I was starting trading. So the good part is you don't have to spend that much of money and travel all around the world. Because I have actually summarized a lot of this and realized what works and what don't work. And you don't actually have to learn so many strategies. Okay? You just need a few that works. Okay? So I'm going to share with you that today. So I've traded through the many types of markets and learned the hard way as well. Traded a bull and a bear. Guess what is the third type of market? Anyone can guess? What is the third type of market besides bull and bear? Anyone who can give an answer will give a prize. Will get a prize. Yes? Buffalo. Okay. One more animal besides buffalo. Boar. No? Boar is like a bear. One more chance. Huh? Turtle? Actually can do also. But I like this better. It's called a crab market. Do you know why it's called a crab market? Yeah, it's sideways, right? Isn't this the best animal to represent? So I traded to the bear market. In fact, I make money from options trading the sideways market. So I like this animal. Okay. So this is my trading journey, and it's an important lesson for everyone to learn here as well. Right? When I started, it was a crab market, okay? Sideways, not much movement. This time I was focusing on KLSE at that time, not US. This is S&P 500 index, which is the index for the top 500 companies in US. Okay? So it has gone through super bull run in 95, all the way to year 2000. Can you see? That's a super bull. That's a slight crash over here, right? Quite a major one. But the rest of it is actually a major bull. And after that, the reality kicks in, right? Like what I learned from Intel share. It drops and it crashes all the way. See how long does it take to rally compared to how long it takes to crash? Okay. Okay. It just takes probably less than half the time to crash. And look at this, 2003 to late 2007. Okay, this is close to 5 years. There was a strong market rally. At that point in time, people said you can just throw a dart on a stock and you can make money. Like, how many of you have heard that before? Okay, that's how easy it is. Because the overall market sentiment contribute 40%. Okay, how many percent? 40% of the stock price movement. It is not the specific company first, right? It's the overall sentiment of fear and greed, okay? So after that, it crashed due to the US financial crisis in actually late 2007, all the way up to, it actually recovered around March 2009, where we rebounded. And now we are very close back to the level before it crashed, all right? So it is quite a roller coaster journey. And I found that, you know, on one hand, learning the hard way can be a good thing, right? Because you really ingrain it, you feel it, and you won't do it anymore. They teach me the biggest lesson in what? Money management, how I manage my risk. And I realized what strategy works and don't work in specific scenarios. There are strategies that work in a bull run, in a downturn, and in the sideways market, and when it's very volatile like here. This is very volatile. Okay? There are certain strategies you should use and should not use. Okay? But the most important basic is money management. Okay? So, and it's quite sad for me when I see many other people repeating the same mistake. That's what inspired me to teach, okay? All right, so on top of that, I realized that I shouldn't learn the hard way anymore, right? So it's best for me to research people who has made it there, not just one time, but consistently. The word is consistently for many, many, many years. What do they use? So I researched, these are just a few of them. Warren Buffett, richest in the world. After he donated, okay, now he's the second, okay? George Soros, 14 richest in the world, 14.2 billion. And Steve Cohen, you can see him from the book Interview with Top Traders. There are many more in the Interview with Top Traders book, okay? So, and I study what they do. On top of that, I realized psychology is so important. So I also read all the material that I can find from the top trading coach in the world. These are the top trading coach. Brad Steinberger, Wen Tak, okay? Mark Douglas, and Jack Schwarzer was the one who interviewed all the key top traders in the world. He has at least 3 books on that. And there was one consistent message across the board, right? The best way to learn is not to learn the hard way, right? The best way to learn, these are the people who have know what are all the mistakes that the traders does, okay? And they know how to find the solutions. Is that better to learn this way? Yeah, so I actually spent a lot of time reading them. And guess what is the conclusion? Do you want to know the conclusion? Yes. This is my conclusion, and actually their conclusion as well, okay? Which is trading is actually 90% psychology and money management, and just 10% strategy, okay? Is this to your surprise? Right, a lot of people keep searching and searching for better guru, better strategy, right? I was one of them initially, okay? Yeah. But the reality is this is what all the top traders say. Even George Soros. What is George Soros' favorite quote? Anyone can tell me? He said, it's not about how much money you make when you are right, but how little you lose when you are wrong that determine your long-term success. And these lessons I learned from David Novak. It ingrained to me until now, okay? I always recite it because it's the most important lesson. It's about keeping your losses small, okay? So because of that, I was very inspired and realized this is the most missing ingredient in all the training program that I have come across, even all those I have attended, okay? And some of them do provide some part of that, right? To be fair with them, they do supply, but it's not holistic enough. It's not enough to transform person, okay? So I started this program called, it's the first in Malaysia. I started it way back in 2009. It's called Trading for Consistent Success. It's a lot about psychology. A lot of people have the wrong belief about trading. Let me ask and see how many of you here has the same belief. Let's say you sign up for a course, right? You expect to learn from a guru, and he teach you step 1, 2, 3, 4. If you follow this, step 1, 2, 3, 4, and you buy. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you sell. So it must make money. How many of you think that way? None. How many of you don't think it's that way? Okay, at least I know the rest of you are not sure. The rest of you are not sure, right? So the answer is no. There is no 100% guarantee strategy, just to make sure that you got the right belief. There's no such thing. Okay, even though you do fundamental, technical, whatever you do, it just takes one call. Maybe Steve Jobs want to pay for his medical leave, okay? Want a vacation or whatever, and he just sells some shares. It looks like an uptrend, and it will just fall on that spot if there's one guy who decided to sell. Okay, so that's what it takes. There's no 100% guarantee. So money management is still very important. Okay, so I realized that most people fail because of this, because I've coached more than 1,000 students. Okay, Some I help my ex-guru to coach, and some are my own students. And I see a pattern. Most people fail in this. So I know that I must introduce this course to help them change, have the right belief. There are 20 over very common mistakes that most people make. 20 over. And I measure whether they have changed that mindset. Without changing that, it's very hard for them to get consistent. Okay? So this is my finding after looking at what makes people succeed. Which kind of students succeed? Which kind of student will find it harder? And one of the biggest findings I have is, I'd like to share this with you so that you can be successful as well, is it's better to find a trading instrument and strategy and time frame that really fits your personality. Okay? There's no one size fits all. I can teach a standard program, but people may trade a different way. If I ask you to invest and keep your stock for 10 years, can you do that? That's Warren Buffett style, right? Because you may not have the right patience or the right capital, right? Yeah, if you are a day trader, you like that momentum, you like that, yes, I got it today. If I teach you a monthly strategy, you will feel bored. Just a matter of time, you will break the rules. So the most important is to find something that suits your personality. And I realize that's the key success. I find that why one student can do it so well, another student, same strategy taught, but cannot do it. Because they have different character. Okay? So this was one of the very important findings. So after that, I did a personality test for people to help them find the right thing. Okay? So that's what inspired me. I said that to have a success in trading, you need a complete solution. It is not just strategy. So I was inspired by some of my students. Initially, I just teach about trading psychology because I know that's the missing gap. So after that, some of them asked me, why don't I teach the strategy that I use, right? So, and that required me to come up with all the manuals and all that. So I decided to come up with these complete solutions. The foundation, it is still trading psychology and money management. That applies to anything you do. And after that, to have a safe investment strategy, it's good to screen strong fundamental stocks, okay? And those growth stocks. And I'll share with you why that is so important later. And even with the best stock, will it crash during the market crash? Yeah, it will. It just crash less and it recover faster. Okay, so it's important to know about technical analysis, about the chart which tells you the psychology of people trading it, right? When to get in and when to get out. Okay, so when you have this foundation, you can actually trade many instruments, not just one instrument. Okay, that's the reason why I can use the same information and I can trade stocks, I can trade CFD, contract for difference, which is the focus today. I'll be sharing with you what is CFD and how to use it properly. I also trade options and intermediate options market. Okay, I split it into options foundation, which is for trending market, and intermediate for how to make money even though the market don't move. Okay, which is tomorrow's topic. Okay, futures. I don't encourage beginners to trade futures because you need to understand commodity, and I was saying that you need to understand the commodity for at least a year before you trade it. Okay, so after coaching for so long, I realized what a super beginner can cope with, right, and what they can't cope with. So I realized CFD is the easiest instrument to get started, okay? And as you get better at it, or if you're experienced, you can start with options and so on, all right? So what is contract for difference? It's a very simple instruments like stock, right? So basically, you have a buyer and a seller, and this is a contract that you're exchanging, okay? And you're actually trading the same instruments, like either using CFD for stocks, using CFD for index, or using CFD for commodities, okay? So in between is the broker that help you, right? Just like property, right? You go through a real estate agent, okay? So it is as simple as stock in the sense that when the stock go up by $1, let's say you buy a Starbucks stock, and Starbucks stock went up $1, right? The CFD for Starbucks stock will also go up $1, right? So it's simple, right? Okay, so you don't have to worry about, it's a bit different with options. When the stock go down $1, right, the CFD will also go down $1. But what's the biggest difference is, for stock, you pay 100% of the stock price. But for CFD, you only pay 5 to 10%. So which is better? Which is better? Let me hear you. Still not sure? Okay. Who can tell me? Yes, CFD is better. In what sense it is better? Okay, you make the same amount, but you pay less. Isn't that better? So why is there 5 to 10% and not just 5%? Because there are different brokers. Some broker give you a 5% margin, which is the one that I use. Some broker give you 10% margin. So it depends on your startup capital, right? You'll go for different brokers, yeah. All right. And the other characteristics of CFD is there's no expiry date. So it makes it a lot more simpler. You don't worry about, oh, contract expire, like options and futures. You have to learn how to trade the expiry date, okay? And the next one is you can trade the uptrend and downtrend, okay? There are some limitations when it comes to shorting stock. Even in US market, okay, there's a limitation. You can only short the amount of stock that's available within the broker. After the financial crisis, there was a lot of restriction already. Even though you can short stock, but there's a limitation. With CFD, you don't have to. There's no limitation. As long as there's a willing buyer for you, you can sell. Okay? It's a different market, separate from the stock market. Okay? So there are some very unique things that are different from stocks here that I would like to mention. It's not available for all stocks and indices. Okay? It's only for selected ones that are highly traded. Okay, because it's a subset, it's very new, right? Not everyone knows about it yet. Okay, like when I asked how many of you know, there's only a few. Okay, so there's less volume trading it right now. So you only go for the top stocks. Only the highest popularity one will have a CFD. On top of that, you have to pay interest, right? There's no such thing called everything is so good, right? Okay, so it's just like buying a house. You pay 5 to 10% to buy a house. What do you do with the rest of it? Yeah, you loan from the bank, right? Do you have to pay interest? Yes. How much interest do you pay for bank right now for your loan? Probably 5 to 7%. Yeah. So for CFD, you are just paying 3 to 5% per annum, but it's calculated daily. Means every day you keep your contract, you are charged a daily interest. The annualized fee is 3 to 5%. Then you divide by 365 days. Okay. So, but it's a lot easier to deal with than expiry. And the best part of it, even though you pay 5 to 10% only, you also get dividend. Is that good? And you get the dividend for the entire 100% of the stock, not just 5 to 10%. So you pay a little bit money and you get dividend. And sometimes your dividend, depending on how many percent it is, some stock pay 3 to 5% dividend. Some stock only 1.5, okay? So if you have a stock that pay 3 to 5% dividend, that dividend can actually pay for your interest. Is that good? Then any upside for the stock, you can really make money, okay? This is for the buyer of the CFD. There's always a buyer and a seller. Okay? The seller part will receive interest. Okay? The buyer pay interest. If you are the seller, if you are shorting the stock, you actually get interest. Yeah? So every day you are shorting, you get a daily interest. So you got double income. Okay? When the stock goes down. Right? All right. So in summary, what is the most important benefit of CFD? Okay? This is the best part, where the amount you gain is proportion to stock, but the ROI is 10 to 20 times more, just because your denominator is smaller. What you divide with, right, your capital is smaller. Okay? So, and the other most important part where people don't realize is a 10% change in the stock price is 100% ROI in the CFD. Is it easier for a stock to move 50 cents or $5? Which one is easier, to move 50 cents or to move $5? 50 cents, right? Yeah. So if you buy the stock, if you want to wait for a significant move, you will have to wait a long time. Okay? But when you buy a CFD, all you need is a 50 cents move in the stock. And you will have a significant move in the CFD. So can you see that in CFD, it's more realistic to make a very frequent money. Can you see that? Because you're only targeting small move. A small move is a big percentage. Okay? All right, so let me give you an actual example, right? This is a Starbucks stock. Everybody knows Starbucks, right? Okay. So, assuming that you buy the Starbucks stock at $30, can you see at the back? Yeah, buy it at $30. Can you see a support here, right? This line here is where the stock keep bouncing back from this level. And you establish a sell when it hit a resistance, right? You see that it cannot go up in a short term. So you sell at 33. And this is only November to December, 1 month. It went up by $3. Okay? So you make $3. So what is the cost of Starbucks? To buy this stock, you have to pay, the stock price is $30, and you have to buy in multiple of 100. Actually, in US, you don't have to buy in multiple of 100 like Malaysia. In Malaysia, one lot is 100, right? Units. In US, you can even buy 1 unit, right? Just that you pay more commission when you do that. Okay? So, and if you want to protect with other instrument like option, it's best to buy 100 units. Okay? So, for simplicity, I'll look at 100 units times 30 is $3,000. Right? Just to buy one lot of Starbucks stocks, it costs $3,000 US. That's close to 10,000 ringgit. Okay? But when you buy the CFD for Starbucks, all you need to pay is, I take the higher end one, which is the 10%, is $3. Okay, so $3 times 100 units is only 300, right? How many more people can afford that right now? A lot more people, right? But the best part of it is this. Both sides, you make the same $3, okay? So this is $3 divided by $30, but this is $3 divided by $3. So this is 10%, this is 100%. Can you see the difference? Yeah. And you make this 10% move in 1 month. Actually, it's still considered very good, right? 10% in 1 month, still considered very good. But with CFD, it's even much better. Isn't it excellent? 100%. Well, you're targeting for 1,000, is it? No excitement at all. How many of you think 100% in a month is very good? Raise your hand. Okay, then you deserve the money. Otherwise, you may be targeting too much, okay? All right, so let me give you a summary of CFD so you understand the benefit and also the cons that you need to take care of, right? Yeah. So to trade the instrument well, you need to learn when is the best time to use it, okay? So the con side is, it is very simple, okay? Do you see that it's simple? It's now very simple, right? Everyone can manage that, okay? And it's low capital, so more people can afford, 5 to 10% only. You get a high ROI, right? On top of that, you get dividends even, right? Some bonus to pay for your interest. If you're a seller, you receive interest. So that's the pro side. So let me cover a little bit on the con side, which is you have to pay daily interest. So what do you need to make sure? That when you look at the stock, it is a strong stock, that it will move up and be able to cover your interest. That's the most important, right? If you don't have a dividend, to make sure that that stock is a growth stock, okay? The next one is low liquidity. That means there are less people trading it, the spread is wider. That means the buy and sell price, if you buy and sell immediately, is wider than stocks, okay? So how can you manage this better? Is only choose the top traded CFD, which is S&P 500, NASDAQ, Hang Seng Index, FTSE Index, and so on. All the major indexes are highly traded. The volume is there. Okay. The other one is all the S&P. You want to be safe, choose the S&P 100 stock, the top 100 stocks in US. You will have a volume. And also you choose a good broker. Okay. I actually research broker and make sure that those brokers are the good ones that my student can use. They are segregated account, right? The money is safe. And also, these are the brokers that are reliable, okay? So when you get a good broker, and that broker has a high volume, you will overcome these cons. The next one is, you need to take note that just like Forex, this is not controlled by a central exchange. What does it mean, right? For stock trading, options trading, and futures, it all routes through a central stock exchange, okay? So the price are standardized, okay? There could be just like a 1 cent difference from exchange to exchange. But in the contract for difference, the price are controlled at the broker end. Okay, so it could be slight variation from the stock, but eventually it will merge back with the stock price based on supply and demand. Okay, so this is not a big problem if you choose a good broker. Okay, this is a part where you need to scale up when it comes to margin trading, right? So you are paying only 5 to 10% margin, but you can actually risk more than what you put in. Okay, you may risk more than, let's say for example, for Starbucks, you pay 300 instead of 3,000. But if Starbucks goes down by $3, right, you already lost 300. That means your whole initial margin is gone, right? Yeah, then you will get a margin call, we call it. Okay? So, but won't you be losing the same amount in stock as well if the stock go down $3? Yeah. So the risk amount is no different from stock, okay? Just the capital amount. So how do you take care of it? You must make sure that just because you're paying $3, you don't go and buy 10 lots. Okay, do you agree? Yeah. So you need to trade this instrument in the right way. Then you can manage your risk. And you still need to have stop loss. Okay? Yeah. So we actually teach you how to trade it properly. So in every instrument, whether you trade stocks, options, Forex, or CFD, there's always some best and the pro and cons part. Most important, you know when to use it the right way. So do you want to learn how to use it more effectively? When to use it and how to use it? Are you sure? Okay, then I will share it with you. All right, so this is the proven method. And I don't teach people anything that I personally cannot make money from because I think it's too theoretical and it is not responsible. Okay, so I started teaching CFD when I can make money from CFD. Okay, so this is a proven strategy which I actually use some of my knowledge when I trade other stocks. Use both fundamental and technical. Don't just use technical in CFD trading. Okay. Like for example, in Starbucks chart, strong fundamental stocks will usually go up if you are not paying overpriced today. Okay, but does it go up 45 degrees up? Not all the time, even if the strong stocks. It will do an increment. As they see higher and higher earnings every quarter, it will do a step increment like this, right? Next quarter earnings, it go up. Next quarter earnings, better, it go up. So it's like a step approach. So can you see that there are actually many entries and exit opportunity here? You can buy CFD here, sell here, and every time it bounces back here, you buy again, buy again, buy again. So this is very safe way of trading. You don't chase the market. You look at the strong stock, you wait for it to come to support, and you just leave your buy limit order there. Okay? Yeah. And just let the market come to you, not you go to the market. Okay? I trade this the safe way. I have tried many ways. I've tried trading momentum. I find that this is still the safe way for beginners. And it's the most lifestyle, okay? Keep it there, profit taking, stop loss, and move on. Okay? Do other stuff. So this is a proof of in April and May, I'd like to share with you, right? A typical example in a month, right? How much can you make? So this is my account from just a few trades. I have some favorite stocks that I traded a lot because I know them so well, like Apple, right? Everybody knows Apple is growing very fast, right? With iPhone and iPad sales, they just break through their earnings again. So their gap down is even touched $400 at one point, okay? And guess what was the price when I was trading it? It's only about 320. Okay, this was in May. Okay, so can you see that in just a few transactions, 2,310 US dollar. This is Aussie, sorry. I have an Aussie CFD account. 2310-3899, and also this is from Australia Index, $1,000, and FTSE Index, 3,339. Is this good money? In just one transaction. How much time does it take for me to trade that? All it takes is 5 minutes to enter the transaction. And for me, since I know the stocks already, I use the same stock over month after month. I don't like to keep changing stocks because I know them, right? I can still trade the same stock every month. It just takes me 5 minutes to look at the chart. Okay? Place the order, stop loss, profit taking. And with this, I was able to fund my Bali vacation right after that, okay? So, and then I research broker very often because there are many CFD brokers that come very often. So there was one, this is the one broker that I tested last year. And I'd like to show you the statement. We'd like to see how much can make in 1 year. Okay. Okay, so this is the, okay, this is the latest month, which is May. Can you see May? 21,000 Aussie to 38,000. Is that good money? Okay. And let me show you a longer one, which is all the way when I tested this broker, right? Yeah, this is my account statement in Halifax, one of Australia broker. I have another one with a Singapore broker. Okay, so I deposited in 5th of July last year. Can you see here? Can you see from the back? 5th of July, I deposited 8,000, right? They deduct $20 charges. Okay, look at it. I did not deposit anything since then, right? It's not many transactions. The one that is minus is actually the commission. Okay, the commission from the broker for every trade. Okay. So guess how much? Can you see here? These are some of the Apple trade I make end of the year rally. Okay, 1,000 plus, 1,000 plus from MasterCard and Apple. Okay, let me scroll all the way down to the end. Okay. $33,440. Is that good money? From 8,000. That's close to 300 plus. And in fact, this was the earliest statement, right? This is as of 8th of June, okay? So the one that I showed you earlier, which is until the 17th June, I haven't merged that, is 38,000 already, okay? That's more than 300% in 1 year. How can I achieve that? It's because I pay a low amount and I just need a small move. I target very small move, you know, just get out, don't be greedy. If you're not greedy, you can make money like this. How many of you would like to make money like this? All right. Okay, so let me go back to my foil. All right, so I'd like to share with you some of the critical concepts before you trade CFD. Right, the first one is fundamental analysis. And this is a very foundation concept that I think everyone needs to learn, even if you are trading stocks. Okay, so assuming that you look at this company, which, how do I screen good companies? I look at return of earnings, one criteria out of my 10 criteria, okay? So if you invest $1 capital in this company and that company make 33% earnings, is that good? Consider good earnings? Very good, right? What if this company consistently make that earnings every year? First year, 33%, right? Second year, 33%, the third year, 33%. So in 3 years, how will be the capital of this company? Yeah, double, right? The account will double. After 3 years, you can see it's double. So will this kind of stock grow? The value already grow double, right? So isn't this a safer way to trade? As long as it's not overpriced today, right? That's why I have other criteria to make sure that it's not overpriced and it has good market growth after this, right? So this is the way that Warren Buffett trade, right? So he has companies like Coca-Cola, and for example, one of my favorite stocks is McDonald's as well. Does McDonald's make money even during the Japan earthquake? During US crisis? Yes, they make money. They will just dip for a short while and they will come back, okay, after the crisis, okay? And let's look at this, right? It actually survived, this McDonald's chart, it actually survived the crash and it bounced back. Okay, it still dropped, but you see, it doesn't break the support, okay, and it bounced back. These are the kind of stocks that I think everyone should have at least a few of them in your portfolio. I have a lot of safe stock and I have growth stocks, okay? Yeah. So let's compare with the S&P crash. S&P 500 crash almost 50%, okay? 124 to 65. Is it a big crash? Yeah, 50%. Let's look at McDonald's. Can you see the difference? Yeah, it just dropped a bit. After that, it recovered back, okay? So even with the best company, right, it's important to look at the technical analysis. So I like to combine both, fundamental and technical, right? Find where are the support and be patient and buy that. The best way is, in Malaysia, most of the brokers don't allow you to do that. You can buy a limit order just for today. After that, it's cancelled. Tomorrow, you have to key in again. In US, you can put a good to cancel order. Only buy at 35, okay? And leave it there for the whole month. So you don't have to keep checking every day. Is that good? Yeah, that's one of the benefits of all the US brokers. They are very powerful. I can even set it to sell partial halfway, right? Up $1, sell half for me. Up another $1, sell half. Okay? When the market crash, I can even correlate. If S&P 500 drop below certain point, sell for me for this stock as well. You can do that. Okay? So isn't this lifestyle trading where you don't have to watch for the market all the time, up and down? Okay? So what is technical analysis? Why is it so important, right? I learned that biggest lesson. Why? Because I know Intel is a very good stock. That's why I keep. It has such a good cash reserve and I'm working in the same company. But why can Intel stock drop from $65 to $13? Is it fundamental? Yes, partially the PE was overbought at the time. I mean, PE is too high. On top of that was technical, okay? So if you learn technical analysis, this is the benefit for you. You know the trend, right? Whether it is an uptrend, right, or downtrend, or it's consolidating sideways. And you get to understand the price action. Where is the price that always there's a buying coming in? Where's the price that's always selling coming in, right? So that's where you can time your entry and exit. Isn't that important? Yeah. So, and you need to understand some of the key patterns, like when it's breaking out on the support and it's going to establish a new price. There are certain patterns that is very predictable. It's not 100%, but it's probably 80%, okay? 70-80%. Is that good enough to trade? Yeah, it's good enough to trade. When you have an 80%, it's very good already. You just manage the rest with a stop loss, okay? So, that's the reason why I think to be successful, this is how I trade, okay? And I can teach you the same thing, right? If you want to learn this the proper way. I don't like to give you a lot of fluff, okay? I show you actual statement, okay? I will not share anything that I have not tested. So this is exactly what I do and I will teach you. The first one is learn how to screen the top growth stocks, okay? These are companies like Apple. Apple is just one of those growth stocks. And it's one of the best one, okay? Market leaders, right? Market leaders within the growth sector. I can tell you which are the top ROE sector, which industry makes the most money. And these are the one that will take off, okay? There are even 50% return of earnings industry, okay? Market leaders from this industry and resilient stocks. There are some of the stocks that has proven in a downturn, it will not crash so much and it will recover the fastest. So it's a combination of these two that you need to have, okay? And then learn how to do how to evaluate the exact entry and exit rule using technical analysis. It's already bundled in. And seasonal pattern, the most important. I traded US market for so long and I realized that this is so important learning and I got to know it only a bit later after I started trading, which is there's a seasonal pattern. Means there are times where it's a market rally in US, there are times where it's bearish and the sign is sideways. Isn't it important to learn about this? Yeah, for example, the market usually rally in October until January. It is not 100% for every year, but it is 90%. Isn't that good enough to know? Yeah, and after that, it will consolidate. In February or March, it will crash, and then in sometime in March and April, it will rally, and then there's a concept called sell in May and go away for holidays, US summer season. Right? People sell off, yeah. So there's a pattern that's repeated, okay? So it's important, I will share with all my students about that. So they use CFD the right way. During the rally time, that's the best return you can get. Risk 1 to get 3, okay? Yeah. And I also will be sharing, since I trade US market for so long, what actually drives the US market, okay? What are the sentiment, what are the key indicators that actually moves it? So you know how to take advantage of it, okay? There's just a few simple ones. I don't like to complicate people with a lot, because I've coached so many people, I know what is the level to share. And as they get more ready, I'll share more, okay? But there's a sufficient one that is enough to know what drives the US market. Don't you think this is a complete solution? Okay? And it's a very safe way of trading it. But there's 2 more very important secrets. I can teach you that, but you can still break your account. Okay, how many can tell me what are the remaining 2 secrets left? Yes? Yeah, psychology, give him a hand. What else? What else besides psychology? Yeah, money management, okay? Yeah, this is the 2 part, okay? That I see that most people don't have. How many of you have a trading plan? Oh, 1, give him a hand, I think he really deserves it. 1 in 300 plus people. It's very, very rare, okay? So very, very rare. And this is the key ingredient to success. Most people don't trade with a plan. If you trade randomly, can you get consistent? Yeah, it's very difficult. So the most important is trade sizing. Based on your capital, how many lots can you buy? Okay, based on your stop loss, how many lots can you buy? So that when you're wrong, what is your maximum risk? You should not risk more than 2% of your capital when you're wrong. Okay, that's the most important lessons. And you should not be risking all on the same direction. Okay, for your entire portfolio. Even with this lot sizing, you need a plan. How can I meet my target? So for my student, I actually give them a trading plan to plan for the month. If you enter, so they know actually I need to enter how many trades for me to get the return that I wanted. Right? When you plan, you're more likely to follow it, and you can see yourself, tracking yourself whether you are able to reach the target. Okay? Then only you can grow to your millions. All right. So let me give you an illustration of a simple, the most simplest part of the strategy in the plan. Okay? I call it, even though you are 50% right, you can make money. Is that good? Do you want to learn that? Yeah. This is how you should start off with. Assuming you have $5,000, okay, and you have 10 trades in a month, okay, which is only 2 to 3 trades a week. Okay, is that reasonable? 2 to 3 trades a week. So, but when you win, you always risk $1 to get $2. When you win, you make 200, right? But when you lose 100. Sorry. Okay, you make sure that you keep your losses small. Will you still make money this way? You're only half right and you make money. Is that good? Is this simple? But how many are doing that? Right? It's because we are not taught on doing that, so we are not alerted. It's a simple concept. And I make sure that I highlight this to all my students. Okay? It's not about the strategy alone. It's about how much you're risking. I can teach you the strategy, but you have to look at the chart. What is my risk versus reward? So every time during our tutorial, we actually teach people how to look at it. Where is the stop loss point? Where is the potential target? So you know that if you're getting always risk 1 to 2, you only need to be, do you know that you're always risking 1 to 2? You only need to be 1/3 right. You only need to be 1/3 right to make money. 1/3 is break even. Can you be 1/3 right if you learn a strategy? Yeah, you can. So what if you're 70% right? Okay, so with 1/3 right just now, I can show you, you're already making 500. 500 divided by 5,000 is what? 10% return. Is 10% return a month good? It's very good. 1 year is 120%. In fact, if you compound it, right, month by month, it's actually 300%. Okay, it's not 120 anymore. So with this 70% success rate, right, with the same risk-reward ratio, you actually get 22%, right? It's double just by having 2 more trades correct. Is this even better? Yeah, so this is the key concept that I want to share with you. So what is this 5 and 10% difference? What is the 10% difference in 5 years' time? So let me share with you the scenario. If you put this amount in a FD, right, which is 3% per annum, each month is only 0.25%. Assuming you start with 10,000 ringgit. In 5 years, this is what your FD return you. You only get 1,600 extra. And your inflation cannot catch up. Okay? What if you put in the money and you trade, okay, and you get 10% a month? Can you see just now that even though you're 50% right, you can make 10% a month? Yeah. So with this 10% compounded, remember when you compound it month after month, you get 3.1, okay, 300%. So over a period of 5 years, it actually reached 3 million. Okay? Yeah. So is it worth it to learn trading properly? Is it worth it? Right? So what is this 10,000 investment? Okay, compared to your potential. It's only 0.33% of your potential. Okay? So is it worth the money, paying 10,000? Yeah. So that's why I encourage you to start right now, okay? The longer you wait, okay, the longer you'll compound. It sounds good, isn't it? But the question is, will you actually take action? Because I have coached so many people and have attended so many seminars with friends. I know that a lot of people attend seminars and never take action. Okay? Yeah. Okay? But it's the one that take action that count. You see, time flies, right? 1 year passed, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It will just pass like that. And when I look back, I'm so fortunate that I actually started trading. Okay? Because now when I look back, it's already so long ago. Right? 97 when I traded my first US stock. What if I didn't start it? Today I will be sitting here with you. Okay? And I started with just buying a simple stock, Intel stock, INTC. And then I buy Cisco, right? Just start slowly. Okay? So, what would you like to have? Regret or gratitude over 5 years? Okay? This is what you want. Celebrating in 5 years' time. Right? How many of you would like to celebrate in 5 years' time? You don't feel like celebrating. How many of you would like to celebrate in 5 years' time? Okay, great. Because you need to tell your body that you want that. Otherwise, you won't move. Okay, we have a strong inertia. Okay? So which side do you want to be? Give yourself many of reasons, no action, and that's why no results. Or you want to have a clear goal, take action, and then you have your results. Okay? All right, so is this what your life is right now? How many of you are in this mode right now? Okay, looks familiar? Okay? So, how do you change that? That's the most important, right? How many of you would like to spend the rest of your life like that? Okay? So what you can do is, start with this. Okay? Spend 30 minutes a day, at least, for a start. Okay? And learn about trading. Okay? This is the only time you need to invest and sit down. Not day trading, okay? This is where you do your fundamental and look at chart offline, and then you place the trade, okay? Just before market open. And spend some time on the weekend. Could be 1 to 2 hours. Learn about trading, okay? And this is what you will get after that. Is it worth it to spend half an hour a day and get all your time back eventually? Is it worth it? So is it worth the action? Okay, you can sit there and wait for another 5 years, it will not happen. Because I made a decision and that's why I can quit my job. Okay? Yeah. So your choice on whether you really want the lifestyle you want. You can trade 30 minutes a day. Some people, they get stuck to the screen. They are called day traders. You don't have to be like that. And I don't encourage you to start that way. Day trading is actually for advanced traders because there's so much psychological emotion you need to take care. The more shorter time frame you trade, the more you look at the screen, the more psychology you need. Okay? Yeah. All right. So this is the most benefit of trading that I really encourage everyone to use. How many of you know that after age 55, it's hard to find a job anymore? Okay, you know that, right? So what is your income source after that? Okay, yeah. So you need to have an income source that can continue to grow, and only investment and trading can help you get there with the same amount of time. 55 years, 60 years, 75 years from now, you will still spend 30 minutes. Okay? So this is the lifestyle that I get after my money from trading. Okay? I just need to place a few trades a month to be able to fund my vacation. How many of you would like to have the same lifestyle as well? Right? Yeah, this is my Maldives trip. So I do encourage you to take action now. Don't wait for another 3 years and 5 years because people will always find reason, right? Do you agree? Yeah, yours, my reason. So this is our next workshop. If you seriously want to take action and learn from me on CFD, it's on the 10th and 11th September. It's here, okay? It's not easy to find a local trainer that can give you a local support. I'm locally here from KL, and I have a team here. Where are my coaches? Okay, I have a coach from Penang. I have a coach at the back. Where's Gabriel? And Gabriel. How many of you would like a brighter future for your family seriously? Because I want to help the people who are truly committed. Okay? Can you stand up? Everyone stand up if you want a brighter future for your family. Because it shows a commitment. Not committed for your family? Okay? I think you've been sitting too long. Let's stand up. Get your energy for your future. Okay? Let's everybody stand up. I'm not talking about signing up for the course. I'm talking about how many of you are committed to have a brighter future for your family. Say yes. How many of you want a brighter future for your family? Yes. Okay. So the question is, how many of you have a plan right now to give your family a brighter future, to make your millions? How many of you have that right now? Have a plan? Great. Give him a hand. Okay. So for the rest of you, for those who hands up, you can actually sit down if you wish. For the rest of you, right, when are you going to start thinking about the solutions, taking actions, right? So this is how I can help you in a very affordable way. I have a course called the Cfd Workshop, right? It's only $4,988. Looking at the experience level that I have to go through and the amount of money I have to go through to do this, I would say that this is a very, very cheap price. Okay? How many of you would like to learn CFD the proper way? And with this, we also have the, just hold on, we also have the monthly installment scheme, which is only $406 per month times 12 months. Okay? Look at the trade that I can make in one trade as well. It's 1,000 to 3,000 Aussie dollar. Okay? It's enough to pay for this whole course. Do you see that? I show you an actual statement. Okay? So let's not be penny wise, pound foolish. You know what is that? Right? You save on a little, but you lost out on a lot. Okay? I would say that if I have this kind of price at the time that I started, I would have grabbed it. Because I went through a long way and paid a lot of money. Okay? And I realized that I want to make it, I want to help more people to achieve that. Okay? Now that I have more time after trading, I can teach that. And to help you with that, those who are serious and committed, you can come to the front right now, and I will give you a very special offer. Okay? My commitment for you, how many of you wanted to learn? Let me see your hands. Okay? For those of you who are committed to learn, this is how I will help and mentor you. I have coached so many people, so I know what it takes to help people, right? The first one is, I will give you 8 after the workshop, which is 2 days workshop. I will give you 8 face-to-face coaching, 2.5 hours each. Okay, so I will handhold you to understand the broker, how to buy and sell, set profit and stop loss. On top of that is the entry and exit. Okay, how to analyze when to enter, when to exit, how to look at the live market charts. Okay, this is on the market open time. Okay, 3 months free alerts. To assist people in learning, I want to give people alerts. The alerts have exact entry and exit to facilitate your owning. I know as beginner, you have this phobia, right? You're not sure whether you do it correctly. My alerts is supposed to help you to know that, oh yeah, I did the same analysis like her, and I got it right actually. My entry and exit is the same like her. My support resistance is the same. That gives you confidence, okay? And it speeds up your learning curve. And on top of that, I even give the top 15 US stocks that I have screened before. These are the resilient stocks and growth stocks. And it will save you a humongous amount of time. This itself is worth more than a course fee, by the way. Because from this, you can straight away start trading, okay? And the best part of all, I'm giving this as a limited time offer. I won't be doing this too long because otherwise I'll run out of capacity when people come for receipts, okay? Yeah, so while I still have seats left, this is what I'm going to give. Unlimited receipts for the CFD workshop and coaching. Whenever I have a new workshop, you can come back and receipt. Okay, sometimes I update the content as well. Okay, when I have after the 8 sessions of face-to-face coaching, you can come back for the next batch coaching. So this is almost a lifetime coaching, okay? Yeah, can you see that? Yeah, after you finish one batch, you can join back the next batch. All right, so is this great support? I'm not sure where you can find this, locally in Malaysia. Okay, and I have a team of people. This is not just me. I have a team of people who can support you together, not just me. And I have a Facebook account for Wise Trader Group where they can submit their questions. Sometimes I even give a live response to them. okay, of Wise Trader Group. So I post market update, I post what is happening in the market. So it's an ongoing learning that is beyond the workshop. Okay, I share my analysis of the market. Okay, and I correct them. You know, I said, oh, I still haven't exited this trade. I know I should stop loss, but I didn't. What should I do? Okay, so I got questions like this. So I help them to get out of their so-called negative position as well. Okay, anyway. All right, and I help them to capitalize on setting even a higher profit when there's actually a potential upside longer than what they have projected. So is that good? All right, how many of you are committed? I'd like to see your hands. How many of you are committed to attend this course? Okay, if you come to the front right now, we have a sign-up desk there. And for people who are truly committed, I will give you a very special coaching. Okay, this is nothing that I will give, and I cannot give to too many people. Right, this is a limited time for myself. Only for the first 5 who submit the entries, I will give a private coaching. Okay, only for the first 5. So you want to be in my private coaching group, so I urge you to sign up right now. With that, I conclude my presentation. Thank you very much. If you want to talk to me, I'll be there at the booth, and our booth is at point 38. Did you learn something today? Yes. Okay. Thanks for being here. Thank you very much. Yeah.